What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Rabbit Hole Podcast, where we're taking you down the wildest ride through sports, culture, and everything in between. I'm your host, Chris Hunter, and I'm happy to be here with my guy, my brother from another mother, Daniel Horton. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yes, sir. Another episode, another chance to talk crazy. What we talk about today?
Talk greasy. We talking greasy, man. Yeah, we got some great topics going on today, man. We're gonna talk about a little WNBA. We'll talk about a little professional basketball, NBA. That's coming up with training camp starting. And we also going to talk about a little Michigan football and some other topics down there at the end of the show that's going to take you a little bit deeper on some wild rides down at the end of the show, man. So how you doing, man? What's going on today, man? You still doing all right?
Yeah,
I
man.
know that, Hurricane Helene was coming up through your way, man. So what you had to stock up on before that, man? Don't tell me it was baby oil you stocked up on.
Oh no. We let Diddy. He already bought the whole nationwide supply of baby oil, so we couldn't. We was out of baby oil, but we had to go get some waters and snacks and just prepare just in case the power went out or all that type of stuff. If it got too bad, just go hop in the Tahoe and burn out. That was my plan, but we got a bunch of water, snacks, stuff like that in case the power went out. But storm came and went. Now the sun is back out, so everything is back to normal.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it, man. I'm happy to hear it. It's crazy anytime you get those type of storms coming through, but I'm happy to hear that y'all good and that, now we're in the process of just recovering all the way to Florida, all the way up. So
yeah. A bunch of people without power in Georgia, Florida, surrounding states. So it's pretty bad for some people, but for us, we were fortunate. So
no, that's good. Great to hear, man. So let's get into this first topic, man. We've been talking about this a lot, and it's been a really good, WNBA season. And now that the Indiana Fever have been eliminated from the playoffs, let's talk a little bit about Caitlyn Clark's rookie year. She came into it with a whole lot of fanfare, a whole lot of haters, a whole lot of lovers. How would you rate her first NBA season amongst like the all-time greats, man? Is this the best rookie season you've seen from the rookie of the year?
For me, I would have to say yes, just because I can't remember the first seasons for any of the other women in contention for that spot, right? I can't remember Shamika Holdsclaw first year. I remember watching these ladies play, through college, but I can't remember the actual impact they had, right? Like back during those times, kind of when they got to the NBA, the kind of the popularity or the attention or the number of eyeballs watching faded a little bit compared to what it was when they were at Tennessee and UConn and schools like that. So now Caitlyn's kind of changed the dynamic where those eyeballs followed her from Iowa to the WNBA. So now, I'm pretty sure it's up there in that conversation, but a lot of it is going to be recency bias just because we've never seen anyone covered like this before in women's basketball. So not only did she live up to the expectations, she played really well and got her team to the playoffs. She put up good numbers too. So, and it might, like I said, it might be a bit of recency bias because I can't remember the other ladies first and the impact they had on the WNBA back then. So I would have to say, if you ask me, I would have to say yes. Just in a vacuum, I would have to say yes.
Yeah, in a vacuum, yes. I mean, I would have to say yes and no with this. When you think about people like Candace Parker, who came into it and was, MVP, numbers weren't what Caitlyn's are, but the impact that she made was crazy. So let's get into the numbers just a little bit. Caitlyn finished 7th in scoring in the WNBA, first in assists, and first in 3-point field goals made. So that's like, for her to come in with all of the scrutiny she came in and the people hating and talking trash and going at her, and this was a crazy rookie season for her, coming off the run that she had in the NCAA and getting into it. So I would say for her, yes, I'm putting her over everybody. I'm just gonna throw it out there, man. This is the new Larry Bird Magic Johnson rivalry going on in the WNBA, and I'm here for it. I think Caitlyn Clark is going to be that type of. She's already had that type of impact on their league. When you talk about the impact that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson had on the NBA at a time where they needed to get more eyes on it, more notoriety. Like, this is the type of impact she's having on. I read a
Only
stat.
only thing I'll challenge you on with that is that those guys came in winning championships. So I know Magic Johnson came into a different franchise, right? The Lakers had some injuries the year before, brought it. So like they got a higher draft pick than they normally would have if everybody had been healthy. So they were able to get Magic Johnson. So he's able to go to a team that already had James Worthy and Kareem and all these guys.
Kareem, come on now.
So it's just a different I would just say those guys came in affecting winning at the highest level, and I'm pretty sure she'll get there. So I don't want to quite throw the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson jacket on her and Angel Reese.
Angel Reese, that's it, man. Larry, I'm talking about straight. If you're talking about straight impact,
yeah,
you know, the Indiana Fever had more average attendance than the Pacers did this year, and they outranked everybody as far as average fan attendance in the WNBA and everybody in the WNBA, including the Las Vegas Aces, who won back-to-back championships. So,
but that's it's Indiana,
impact,
though. It's your home state. Y'all basketball crazy in Indiana.
Basketball people, but they in there. They got more people in there than the Pacers. You know, so she and it's crazy because like when you think about that aspect, that's the aspect I'm talking about. Like, yeah, championships aside, yeah, they gonna have to do that. But impact and fanfare and eyeballs on it, the new Magic and Larry Bird rivalry, you know, a little, you know, it always has that black-white undertone as well that people like to go with. But as far as in college rivalry, they had the national championship game and the NCAA tournament runs, and now going into the NBA and getting the type of exposure that they're getting and the type of eyes on the WNBA, for sure. That's they next up.
My dad has a bunch of girls that he coached and trained in the WNBA. They're at probably vet status now. They're like a woman like Kennedy Carter. He coached her. She played for my dad as well.
Oh, he coached her to push people down like she pushed Caitlyn?
She did nothing. He ain't taking nothing from nobody.
A little rough and rugged.
Yeah, she does, but she can ball though. So I can't wait to see her grow and develop rivalries with people like that. That way, because they play her position, they're going to guard each other. They're going to play against each other. Her and Angel Reese, they're not necessarily going to, just like in college, their teams played against each other, but they didn't really cross each other's paths unless it was a switch on a pick and roll or something. So it's a little bit different than like KD versus LeBron or even Magic versus Bird, or these guys guard each other at times. So
for sure, yeah, you ain't gonna get that.
No, you're not gonna
get that with them too.
Like you said, the popularity, the fanfare. Hopefully, they can get some McDonald's commercials going. That'll be pretty cool. So
that'd be dope. That'd be dope. But my girl Angel, she's gonna have to stop padding her stats like she do. You know, make some layups.
She got that Dennis Rodman in her.
She got that averaging all the rebound, but you shoot 39% from the field. I'm like, hey. I had to look. I said, "Is that from the three? No, that's from the field. So you out there? That's I
wonder what her first shot percentage is. It's probably lower than 39.
It's probably lower than that. It's probably under 10% first shot. But hey, it's been successful for us. So keep it up, baby girl. Keep it up. Yeah, for sure. So hey, we're gonna move in. I want to get into some Michigan football real quick before we get into any more basketball, man. This is what we do, you know. So big Orji Energy, man. How do you feel about
no Diddy?
No Diddy. Big Orji Energy. Watching that game last week against USC. We ain't got a chance to talk about it yet. Watching that game against USC. And to me, it seemed like everybody played more inspired. Like it was just a little bit more pop. Like they had a little bit more oomph to them out there, like on both sides of the ball. Even though we ain't throw the ball, but 2 times. Everybody felt like they were more inspired to get behind him. So how do you feel like and how do you feel like the team played more inspired against USC with Orji at the helm?
It's one of those things like in team sports you can't explain, right? It's like why, like you've been on teams in college where the coach names the captain, walk on one of the captains, you know what I'm saying? Or like you see, you go watch a pro game and the starter gets hurt and the backup comes in and everybody rallies around him and they make a run. It's just one of those weird things in sports where where when the guy is like a leader and the guys in the locker room gravitate towards and they like him, they want to follow him, it leads to more success on the field. No matter what no matter what, the synergy is better. You know what I'm saying? They use that word with Steph Curry all the time. The synergy is better. Like no matter no matter what style of play you choose to play, it's probably going to work just because everybody's connected. And it starts with the quarterback and his leadership. Like you can see after the game, like he could have been like, "Hey, I didn't blah blah blah." He could have said a lot of different things, but he praised his teammates. He almost sounded like a coach. You know what I mean? So it's like it's one of those guys like, "Hey man, this guy has high character. He has high leadership qualities. And you can tell he studies the game and he wants to be great. He wants the team to be good." So with that's your foundation to start with, you can build on that and have some success. And I think with the other guys, you can kind of see, like the first I told him, like I spoke about with Sam, Mullins runs for 30-something yards for the first touchdown, and the linemen are picking Orji up and celebrating on Orji like he threw the ball and he just handed the ball off to the running back.
He just handed it off. Yeah, no, yeah. It was contagious. You could see it. It was contagious. Like you said, when I watched that post-game interview, I'm like, okay, this dude got it. Like he has a perspective. He's got it. He's got a personality that shows leadership, and I can tell why it seems like guys just like they gravitated and had a little bit more energy when he was in the game versus Davis Warren. You know, that's taking nothing away from him, but like sometimes people just got it. Either you got it or you don't. You just got a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more energy to your leadership qualities and abilities. And watching him on that post-game interview,
you can see the way people react to him and the way energy people have when he's in the game versus when Davis was playing, it was like more like, okay, we're just running the system. Like now, when Orji is in this game, it's more like, no, we're playing to win. Like it's not like we're just doing what Coach asked us to do. We're playing to win. Like
playing to win. We got an identity that we can go behind with this dude. He rough, tough. He gonna go hard at it. And deficiencies, take that aside. With as far as him throwing the ball or not, we still haven't seen if he can. The coaches need to call some plays down the field. We still haven't seen that. Yeah. But like watching that game and seeing how inspired they played on both sides, let alone an opponent, the atmosphere, all that, it looks like they played more inspired because of him and who he has been. So I'm looking forward to see it. We got Minnesota coming up. I don't know if we can replicate that, man. Can we replicate this type of style of football? Is Michigan going to be the new Army football of the Big Ten? Are we going to run it 85, 95 times? Is that our identity? Is that our identity now? Just us running the football?
I think our identity is going to be whatever it takes to win moving forward. If it takes playing like Army, they're going to do it. If we have to throw it a little bit more because the game dictates that, because of the situations, they're going to do it. I think they've proven that the last couple of years Michigan believes in situational football, like ball control football. Okay, we get
complimentary football. You got it.
Complimentary football. We get 3-4 yards here, 3-4 yards. Look up, third down. It's 3rd and 3. It's manageable. 3rd and 2. Situational. We don't have to be better than you overall. We just need to be better than you right here on 3rd and 2 to keep this drive going. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Keep the ball moving, keep the clock running, keep your offense on the sideline. So if they can continue to stay on schedule, no matter what that looks like, if that's short screen passes, if that's handoffs to the running back, if that's QB running, if they can stay on schedule and keep that defense fresh, they're going to have a chance to win every game going forward the rest of the season, as long as they don't turn the ball over. And I think that's one thing last week did, is it reset the baseline, right?
Yeah.
So the first couple weeks, we couldn't establish the run game, so they couldn't build off of it. But now we just had a game where the running game put up almost 300 yards that we won. So now, as teams prepare for that, now you can build off that. Now you can have some counters. You can have some misdirection stuff based off what you've already done and put on film. So now Minnesota might not come in with 2 high safeties like USC did. They might come in and start the game and cover 1 or cover 0 the way USC played the second half. Yeah. And now if we start a game and cover 1 or cover 0, now the passing game opens up more.
Yeah, so, we got to be able to take advantage of that.
Got to.
Like, come on now. Like, I don't care who back there. You've been in college 3 years. You got to be able to throw enough down the field. And hopefully Coasting Loveland is back. And that gives you another like weapon that you can just, get down and he can make plays. You can throw it up to him. A couple of those throws that Orji made, I thought my man tight end should have broke a little bit closer. You got to break in front of the ball and get your body in front of that defender. So it's one of those things where your playmakers got to make plays. So it's going to be interesting to see, how we can do it.
He definitely has some arm
talent. Yeah, he got arm talent. Now, once you get a rhythm, a couple of them throws he throw it'd be kind of at under them dudes' knees, and they got to go scoop it.
Yeah,
but I think that comes with a little bit more rhythm, a little bit more seasoning in the game, so he can see what's going on. So I'm excited, man. I like the identity now that we're going to. I think before we had a little bit of an identity crisis on what we wanted to be, and I think this style of play for this team gives us the best opportunity to win with, complementary football, field position, time of possession, keeping your defense off the field as much as you can, and letting those playmakers make plays. When you got the Trojans in the building, you got Orji, and then you got Johnson with a pick six. It's a huge thing, man. Huge thing. So we got playmakers. We just got to do it.
I know Orji's going to eventually knock the numbers off Samaj Morgan's jersey. Them screen passes, dude got a cannon for an arm, bro. I don't know if you noticed, but some of them throws, that ball get there.
No, it's hot. It's hot. It get there. It's like, woof. Like you got some of them, you got to put a little touch on them joints. But no, I'm excited about him.
Hit Samaj Morgan so hard in the chest on the screen pass, I think it kind of discombobulated him. All he got to do is catch and turn up the field. He tried to run around the defense. I'm like, dude. But shoot, hey, man, you catch a rocket like that, I'm pretty sure you still trying to figure out what just happened.
No, for sure. But I think it's going to get nothing but better with him throwing the football. He got to be able to do better than what he did now. So now they just got to continue to open it up and make him feel more comfortable, man. But speaking of the quarterback position, I don't know if you heard, man, Dave Portnoy said, hey, he opening up the bag. Whatever we need to do for a quarterback. He said he willing to pay $3 million annually to get a top 5 quarterback, a top 10 quarterback in every year in that class. What do you feel about this new era and this new age in NIL and, people like this, pledging this and stepping up to the table and getting us where we need to be, hopefully.
Hopefully Ward has called him already. Like Ward and Sharon and all these guys they've been in the – hopefully they've had a meeting already. Like, okay, you put in $3 million, we go put in $2 million, and we can go get the best quarterback in the country almost every year if that's the type of commitment Portnoy is going to make to the program. So, man, we got to take advantage of that. Like, if you got alumni and fans that want to pledge their support to the tune of millions of dollars, that's the game now.
No,
you're not going to get a top 5 to 10 quarterback unless you're going to compensate them to the tune of $3 to $5 million somewhere in that area. I know the kid
Show
from
me the money.
So
Show me the money.
Yeah. So if you have alumni that's willing to do that, man, I hope they've been on the phone with him multiple times trying to get that going. Who's the number 1 quarterback in 20? Hey, the kid from Detroit is right down the street. He ain't signed nothing with LSU yet. Let's go.
Not yet. Let's get it done. He right down the street. And if I hear that about Portnoy, if I'm the AD, I'm trying to, and whoever the collectors, I'm fluing them out. You fly somebody out to your city. Hey, let's get Portnoy flued out so we can get
we putting all the pizza reviews on the Michigan app.
All on the Michigan app. Hey, whatever you want to do, let's get it done. You pledging that? Let's get it done. And that's the nature of the beast right now in college sports. It's like you gotta have a dough to play, man. You gotta pay to play to be able to get the type of talent to compete at that level. And if you got guys like that, that sounds like some SEC stuff, man. You got your big oil money and whatever stepping up to the table with an open checkbook saying, hey, let's get it done. Whatever we need to do to get the type of talent in here, let's get it done. So I love to see it. And like you say, man, we got some local talent that we need to figure out what we can do.
Hey, that's how Texas rebuilt their offensive line. They had somebody come in and pledge to pay the offensive lineman at Texas like $50,000 a year. Now I don't know if I think it's still going. I don't know if it's still going. I know when NIL first started, he pledged $50,000 a year. They immediately got 2 5-star commitments like that on the offensive line. So money talks. Like, and I know Michigan, we have this thing. We want kids that when we want it to be a transformational experience and come to Michigan and become a Michigan man and a great education and a great college town and blah blah blah. All this. I mean, them kids don't care about that. That's like way down the list of things that when it comes to like, well, am I picking my school? The first thing is how much are you paying? I can go play football in wherever. Well, I could go play in the smallest college town in the world if they paying me.
Yeah.
If they paying me right.
No, for sure. It's the unfortunate and fortunate part about it, right? Because you want to see dudes be able to monetize themselves and get their value. But at the same time, you want them to still have values of what they want to get out of their college experience. So, like if we at Michigan, if we can put those things together, we can put the money on the table. The value of everything else is here, like the educational value, the development, all of the experience you get on campus, everything you do to grow yourself as a young man or young woman, as an athlete on this campus, the resources and all that stuff is here. So we just got to put some money where our mouth is. Fortunately and unfortunately, I mean, that's the name of the game. You know, we can't be behind an 8-ball thinking that folks are going to choose us because of those other things over the bag. I mean, that's just not smart business, and you want smart business people and smart people coming to your school. So if you want smart people, they smart enough to know, like, okay, you offer me nothing, and they offer me $100K. All right, that education ain't that much better.
Yeah.
The money in my pocket now is better than the promise of future things. But you want people to take advantage of all of the stuff that Michigan has to offer, but got to be on a normal playing field, man.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the UNLV guys?
Yes. Yeah. That's
What's your thoughts on that situation with their quarterback basically being promised $100K and not receiving it, saying, okay, well, I'm just gonna shut it down. The quarterback and like 3rd, 4th string running back saying, hey, I'm gonna shut it down because y'all made promises during my recruitment that have not been fulfilled. So I'm gonna shut it down and I'm gonna be back on the open market next year to see how much money I can get. What are your thoughts about just the way NIL is going to continue to impact that roster management, retainment of your players? What do you think about that situation?
It's all going to be about. It's going to become like pro sports. It's going to be about how much leverage you have, right? That 3rd, 4th string running back, you walking away because you didn't get whatever they promised you. I'm pretty sure the coaches ain't tripping. Like, hey, it's death piece, but hey, we wish you the best. Mm-hmm. Now the starting quarterback who's led them to a 3-0 record, he has a little bit more leverage. So I'm pretty sure they might have scrambled to try to get him whatever was promised and couldn't come up with it now, but he has the leverage right now. So he's like, hey, I still got a year eligibility. Y'all need me more than I need y'all. Y'all haven't lived up to y'all promise of $100K. I'm gonna go ahead and redshirt. And you can tell it's calculated because he didn't even play, because you can play 4 games in redshirt. He played 3.
Played 4 rest of it. He's played 3. He's like, nah, we good.
Yeah, he's like,
y'all can come up with, he said, y'all can come up with 12K, give me 15. At least make me feel good. Put me on a payment plan, put me on layaway. But I get it. I mean,
that's the nature of the beast now. If you promise these kids and their families, they all have NIL representatives now. They all have pretty much basically have agents now. So you promise these kids something and don't get it to them if you don't think their agent and their family is going to be shopping them to the next highest bidder in real time, not after the season.
Real time.
Real time. If you think they're not going to be shopping them to the next highest bidder, then you fooling yourself. So
yeah, as soon as they get out of practice, they go into the locker room, getting on their phone. Hey,
no, I didn't get no envelope today. There wasn't no direct deposit today.
I didn't get it. You know, that remind me of, we used to play overseas, man. You get paid monthly, and if that check is late a week, and then it get to 2 weeks, like, hold up, I ain't got paid in 6 weeks. Like, no, I ain't playing, I ain't practicing, I ain't doing nothing. So I can feel it, but it's a difficult thing because as a coaching staff, you got to navigate all of these things now with kind of pseudo negotiating, but not being involved in this NIL process. So it's crazy to think that. This is where we're at, but this is where we're at, as far as trying to figure that stuff out, man. How can we get dudes on campus and promise some stuff without giving them a contract, without signing on the dotted line? Like it's craziness. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now and it's only gonna get worse until they come up with more rules and regulations for it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not really any rules and regulations for what the collectors can put in these contracts. So, these kids hopefully they got good representation, because if I was giving out millions of dollars, you would have to go to class, it's a whole bunch of stuff, hoops you would have to jump through. You have to be starting at your position. Like I'm not just going to give you money just because you decide to come to Michigan and you're third string at your position. No, I'm not. Why? Like, do they pay third stringers in any other level of sports? Like,
No.
Yeah, so like, hey man, you gotta it will come with a bunch of stipulations. So I would imagine here over the next year or two, we're gonna start to see a lot of that where guys either they get to campus and don't live up to their end of the bargain and don't get their money, or vice versa. And you're gonna see a lot of shifting and a lot of even more movement than we already see.
Yeah, no, you got to. Dudes take advantage. They go get their bread, especially give them up front. You don't get nobody their money up front. If I'm hiring a contractor, I ain't giving you everything up front. No, I'm giving you, hey, we can doing this in installments.
Yeah,
You don't give deposit.
Give an
Fix
18
this, okay.
Yeah, like no. He ain't doing nothing.
So, so hopefully, like you said, it's gonna be some incentive-based contracts. Hey, your butt got to go to class. You got to stay eligible. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a good citizen in the community. You got to, that's tough though. You put type of performance parameters, and I don't know how they do that or how they get around it, but eventually it's going to come to a point where contracts are going to have to be a part of it. Like you sign your NLI, your national letter of intent, is going to have to be some type of parameters or stipulations with that as far as NIL is concerned. But no, it's wild. It's wild. We missed our time, man. We would have had a little money, man. We missed our time on that.
Hey, I was saying some things about how the kids were living, on the Michigan football team. They were making a lot of money. They said their driveways look like foreign car lots. I'm like, man, shit, I don't know if we'd have foreign cars, but we'd definitely have somebody that had a chef and all that type of stuff. That's why I'm like, if we were getting that type of NIL money, like, I hope these kids are using it to, like we were talking about in a minute about LeBron and Derrick Henry, how much money spent on their bodies. But if I'm a college athlete and I'm making $1 million, $2 million for the year, why wouldn't you invest in I know they already have a strength and conditioning guy with the program, but why wouldn't you invest in like a personal chef at home and a masseuse, whatever it is you need to keep your body going from week to week? So I hope those guys are doing it. I don't know. I'm not in the mix in the loop anymore. So hopefully they're spending their money wisely.
Yeah, no, you got to. When you have that type of opportunity, you got to take advantage of it. Any type of capital, when you're young like that, if you make the right strategic moves, you can do some things that, help yourself in the present, and it can set you up, for the future to be able to be straight. And that's why you can see a dude like the quarterbacks and the running back, be like, hey, this might be my biggest, payday as far as an athlete. I don't know if that guy's
ever get another $100,000.
Yeah, I don't know if he's an NFL guy or not. He might be a journeyman getting here, practice squad. Who knows? But like, I can understand why he say, no, I'm gonna capitalize on this right here, because I know the tape that I just put out there is gonna garner me some major interest moving forward. So, show me the money, man.
Big money donors out there. I'm surprised no big money donors ain't stepped up and kind of remedied the situation, especially with the football team looking like they got a chance to win the conference and do some good things this year. They just let him walk.
Yeah, somebody must have told him, no, we straight the backup's pretty good too.
You'll see a lot of that too.
Yeah, the backup straight. Don't even worry about it. We good.
Yeah,
the backup is good. The backup is good, man. So we'll get into some NBA, man. We got training camp starting up. We got everything going. We got photo shoots and dudes coming in with their new hairstyles and shoes and all that. But let's do just a little quick preview of the season, man. My first question for the season, man, when you think about Kawhi Leonard and all the stuff he's been through, USA Basketball had to step out and get back. And they said he just recently had some surgery that he recovering from that knee, man. Is he done? Is he done as a as a superstar player in this league and as a key contributor and somebody you can rely upon in the NBA? Is he done?
I think he's done as a superstar, but I don't think he's done as a key contributor. Like, he can still go out there when he's healthy and get you 20 to 25 points, 25 to 30 points on a good night. He can still defend at a decent level. He's not the defender he used to be, but he can still defend at a decent level. And I think he can still contribute to a championship winning team. Now, can he be your first option? I don't think he should be your first option. Maybe not even your second option, just because of his health at this point of his career, or his lack of health. But if he goes back to, if you get him kind of back in that situation where he has that role he had in San Antonio, we can kind of be the third guy and defend a little bit more. And I think he still contribute to a championship winning franchise. But if you want him to be your lead guy, I wouldn't take that gamble. That he's about to be 34 years old. I wouldn't take that gamble.
Yeah, I think he's done. Like, all the stuff you just said, I think is done. Like, it's not going to be with the Clippers unless he's going to, OKC, or he going to Denver or something like that. Like, if you trade him to Denver, then yeah. But as far as on the Clippers and on that team, I think it's over with. I think it's done. I think, his time is kind of past in that sense. I think what he brings to the table now doesn't put you over the hump as far as being a contender or a championship team, especially with the Clippers. Now, if he on Denver, all right, you're cooking with something if he's healthy. But other than that, unfortunately, because I like him as a player and what he brought to the table in his prime, but I think he done so.
Yeah,
it's it.
I can see that. Right.
Preseason MVP pick. If you just had to pick one guy, put your money on the line for the season start. Preseason MVP. Who's gonna win it this year?
I mean, I'm going with Giannis, man. It's hard for me to. I feel like Giannis has been the best player in the league for the last 6 years or so. He hasn't won MVP every year, but I think he's the best player, still the best player in the league. I think if Milwaukee can get some consistency around him, they'll be right back in contention. But if I had to put, like I said, my money, if I had to list of power rankings for MVP, 1 and 2 would be Giannis and the Joker again. I don't think much will change as far as that goes. Joker, and if I had to put my money on who I want to win it, is Giannis. Who, if I put my money down, I'm going to go with Joker, just because it's hard to. People are infatuated with numbers, and he's going to average close to 30. He's going to average 10 plus rebounds. He's going to average close to 10 assists. That's just the system. That's just how good he is. All those things. And so he's probably going to win another MVP this year, unless Shea goes crazy, right? Because at the end of the day, unless Shea, unless he gets his assists up close to 10 or over 10, it's going to be tough. Like, he's going to average 30 points, but he's only going to average like 5, 6, 7 assists. So Joker's going to average more assists than him. Like, he's done it the last couple of years.
He'll average more. I think Joker going to be done. I think the fatigue with him, even if you go out there average 32 and 12 and 7 assists, I think just the fatigue is there. You know who my sleeper pick right now for MVP?
Who's that?
Who I think going to come out bussing? Out shooting.
Anthony Edwards.
Ja Morant. Coming out bussing. Coming out shooting. Ja Morant is my sleeper pick for MVP, to be the MVP for this upcoming season. That's one of those wild out the window, but I think they got the type of team who can get back to that top half of the West. And I think he'll be out on a vengeance to prove everybody wrong. And he's so electric. So I think he'll be in that mix, man. I think, and then he's like the only guy on that team right now that can probably put up the type of numbers that would be MVP caliber. So I think Ja Morant's going to come out, but that's my sleeper off the wall pick for MVP that's coming up.
I think if he stays healthy, he'll be an upgrade over Steven Adams offensively. Mm-hmm. He'll definitely be an upgrade. So that's going to, I think, like, he didn't play that much in summer league, but when he did play, he was tough. He was tough.
He was dominant, man.
Everybody
He in
like, oh,
better
he's big
shape than
and
you think?
slow. It's like, oh, he's big and slow. Like that was his thing coming out of college, right? I'm like, no, man. I don't know nobody that averaged those type of numbers in college and weren't good as a pro. That man averaged 25 and 10 plus rebounds in college. Caitlyn Clark, almost 30 and 10 in college. Trae Young, 30 and 10 in college. All of these people had knocks against them that, hey, when they get to the league, they're going to blah, 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 blah. Like, say, man, these guys have been, and women have been the best player in their age group or in the surrounding since they were kids. What makes y'all think they won't get to the NBA and be good?
Be
Like
good.
that's
Well, it's a couple exceptions. You talk about dudes like Jimmer Fredette, and
but he played
and,
5-6
and
years in the league.
yeah, but he wasn't good. Adam Morrison, was one of them dudes.
What he averaged? He averaged like 22 in college. I'm talking about the people who average like 30 and like more like closer to 30.
Oh, you talking about like okay.
Yeah, like generational numbers. You know what I mean? Like we ain't seen too many people. Trae Young averaged 29 and 10 or 30 and 10 in college.
Yeah, as a
You know
freshman.
what I mean? As a freshman, you know what I'm saying? Caitlyn Clark averaged almost 30 and 10 last year. Like that, those like 20 something, like 22, 23. You've seen a lot of dudes do that. But like Zach Edey averaged like 26 and 11 last year or something like that. Like you didn't see too many big men come through and put up them type of numbers in college.
No, he balling, man. He bigger than what
Actually,
you think he
last 2
is.
years.
Yeah. No, he's bigger than what you think he is. He's stronger than what you think he is, and he moves better, and he got a better touch. Like that's the thing, being in the Big Ten for the last 4 years and seeing him, like his touch around the rim, like he get to his little hooks and his money around there, right or left hand. So they've done a great job at Purdue of developing bigs, man. That's what that's big U down there at Purdue. For sure, man. I mean, we had this MVP talk, and there's no LeBron in there. You think LeBron don't have a chance of getting in that conversation? How long can he play at the level that he's playing at?
I'm pretty sure playing, I want to say meaningless basketball, but non-championship basketball, he could probably play as long as he wants to in today's NBA. There's not a lot of physicality until the playoff starts, and even that's limited by the rules, right? There's so much freedom of movement. Like he can cut and drive, and there's less contact. It's not like he's big enough to where he can absorb those things anyway. But the cumulative effects of a physical basketball game over the course of the season, that took its toll on guys back in the day. Now the biggest effect and wear and tear from basketball games on these guys just the fact they were just running cardio for 40 minutes. So I got my legs got to recover.
Oh, you one of them, dude. You one of them old school, dude. You one of them, huh?
No. I know that the game still brings a level of it's faster now and it brings a level of physicality, but it's just not the same. These guys can play. And LeBron won't be the only one, so I don't want to make it seem like it's just him. You'll see a lot of guys play to past 35, 36 years old just because of the way the game is played now. So Steph Curry will be another one. He'll play till he's 40 as well.
For sure.
Like
you said, barring injuries.
Yeah, barring something catastrophic. Yeah, those guys will play till they're 40, 41, 42 years old. So it's just a different era. The guys take care of their bodies. They spend a lot of money on to take care of their bodies. They don't get so far out of shape like guys did back in the day. Like you'll hear stories about guys like superstars back in the day, 20, 25 pounds overweight in the summertime and scrambling to get in shape, not getting in shape until December, right? Now these guys are pretty much in shape year round. So they're able to career last longer. So it's just a different era now.
The investment they put in their bodies. Everything that goes to chefs and masseuses and stretch people and personal trainers and hyperbaric chambers and massaging shoes. I know you've seen them massaging shoes that they got out. All type of just crazy stuff that people are doing, but and investing in their body to help them have that longevity. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. At some point, the dude gonna have to slow down. I don't know, like if he got some type of like super soldier serum that he got from the Marvel universe that then popped in where he can just recover. But at some point, like, dude can't be jumping high and running as fast as he does at 40 years old. Like that, he done made so many great comebacks, like the hairline, like whatever he did to get his hairline back. It's like whatever serum he got, I need to know what it is, man. I need to know.
Man,
Mine is done, so I got
hey,
like LeBron.
KG told you what it was, but nobody wanted to believe it. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh man.
Now let me stop playing. Let me stop playing. But it's amazing to see a guy like you'll see him roll his ankle, you'll see him do stuff. He just tie his shoe up and keep on walking. Like, yeah, like if it was a normal guy, you roll, you're like, hey man, somebody break the stretcher.
It's 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, I need a wheelchair to get out the ring.
But no, that's what I mean. We will see, man. At some point, it's gonna have to slow down, but I don't see it slowing down anytime soon, man. Anytime soon. Last thing I want to talk about NBA, man, before we move on to the next topic. Rudy Gobert. So I don't know if you've seen in the news, the Shaq called him the worst defender ever. He called out him. He called out Ben Simmons, man. What are your thoughts about Rudy Gobert? First and foremost, as a defender and as a player, man, as a multiple defensive player of the year. What are your thoughts about Rudy Gobert?
I wonder why they have this opinion of Rudy, right? Like we've seen him get dominated by the game's elite bigs, but they all dominate each other. Embiid regularly puts 30 and 40 on Joker.
For sure.
AD regularly puts 30 and 40 on Joker. Embiid regularly kills AD when they play because he's too big for him. Like these guys dominate each other different. Giannis puts up good numbers against all of them too. Giannis, I've seen games where Giannis has dominated Embiid, right? And it's like, hey man, like these guys, they're gonna get their tails kicked against other all-time great big men, which AD, Giannis, all these guys that I named are. I haven't seen any regular dudes do that to Rudy. When Rudy plays,
that's true.
When Rudy plays with the French national team, they're always one of the better defensive teams when he's in the better international teams defensively when he's in the lineup. So I'm trying to figure out.
Olympics, they benched him, and the coach took him out the starting lineup to put a better defensive lineup out there.
Yeah, because he couldn't guard the American bigs, the same guys that kill him in the league.
The versatility. But that's the thing. Like, the only thing about Rudy is I don't think he has the type of versatility defensively. He's
an old school big defender.
Yeah. Is he elite rim protector and shot blocker down there and shot alterer? Yes.
Yeah.
But you talking about getting him in the pick and roll and moving his feet and guarding multiple positions and the type of skill sets the dude have now. Like he couldn't guard his own team, his French national teammate, Wembanyama. He'll give him buckets because he's too versatile.
Exactly.
So that's the part where I think people see like, damn, this dude get played off the court because he can't guard the versatility.
He would do that to any of them bigs, bro. Like,
yeah.
Embiid couldn't play against South Sudan the first time, I think it was. They had Embiid because he couldn't guard the dude.
Yeah, he ain't play.
Yeah, like it's one of the things. Like, come on, man. Like it's the he's more of a traditional big. He's a rim protector, paint protector. He's gonna alter a lot of shots when guys come in there. But if you expected him to get down and guard Luka 1-on-1 to get a stop,
switch, huh?
On the switch on the last play of the game, you can't really put. I wouldn't put. I've seen Anthony Davis get his eye dotted in those situations, not be able to cover elite guys. It's just not gonna happen. So like, I think it's just low hanging fruit for guys like Shaq. I think Shaq forget I'm a Laker fan. I think Shaq forgets he was shitty in the. Excuse my language. He was bad in the pick and roll as well.
Yeah, he was bad. He played drop coverage. He wasn't getting out there and being burnt. Like he was one of those guys.
Chauncey Billups won the Finals MVP because they put Shaq in the pick and roll every time, and Chauncey was shooting on the other side of the screen the whole series because Shaq was playing drop coverage. So I think Shaq forgets that. Like Shaq was a similar defender to Rudy Gobert. I don't know why he's like
very similar, more physical.
Yeah, more physical,
more intimidating at the rim. But he wasn't getting out there and getting up on in the line of the pick and moving his feet and switching off on dudes. No, he dropped coverage. I'm in the paint. You come in here, I'm knocking your head off, or I'm throwing it off the backboard to start our fast break.
Now, how many bigs in the history of the game have been able to like do that? KG, Rasheed Wallace, Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis.
Who else? The list is real small.
Yeah, it ain't a lot. It ain't a lot. You think about dude like Tim Duncan, even like Elijah Wan, who had great feet. He was more of a rim protector. Like he can get out and move his feet better than most. But
You're
it's
not
just
putting him
tough.
out
Like
there
once
to
you
put
get to
Michael
that
Jordan.
level, yeah. Once you get to that level, you ain't gonna be like, all right, you got Jordan. This whole Elijah Wan, you guarded Jordan this whole third quarter. Shut him down.
Every time they switch, every time they run a pick and roll, just switch it. I want you to. That's your matchup for that. Every time we switch, we're not. You're not even gonna put him in them situations.
No, for sure, for sure. Do you think like that award has been traditionally, like in the past, been the Defensive Player of the Year award has been a big kind of a big man's award. Like I'm a big, so I respect it. Do you think it's too much emphasis put on big guys defending as far as defensive rebounding, blocking shots? Like, do you put too much emphasis on that and we lose sight of what a lot of these elite guard defenders are doing, like, Drew Holidays and guys like that, because you guarding more skilled, more versatile, more dynamic players in the backcourt and on the wings than you would probably ever guard as a big. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree with that 100%. It's one of those things where they look at the advanced analytics and all these things to make a decision about what they see on the floor. So they quote stats like, "Hey, he has the lowest shot percentage when he's the closest defender." Well, if the offensive player for a big, if the offensive player is constantly on the move and shooting shots on the move, and he's able to use his size to alter him and challenge him, as compared to Drew Holiday, where the guy has the ball in his hands and he's checking him from the start, that's a little different task than when, like I said, a guy comes running at you and he's playing off the move and he's shooting an off-balance shot. So I think some of these stats that they rely upon to make the decision are a bit skewed based on the way the game is played.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of leads to like, okay, we put all this stuff together, Rudy's gonna have the best portfolio for this award because the advanced analytics say when he challenges a shot guy or alters a shot, he gets credit for that as far as the percentage being when he's the closest defender. So like stats like that get a bit skewed because you see like the real effects, like real time in the game. Like, dude, you can't put him in certain situations.
Yeah, no, you can see it. Like real hooper, you see like, damn, no, you got to get this dude off the court.
Yeah.
He can't guard.
But advanced analytics say he's the best defender in the world when he's the closest person to the shooter. He's the closest person to the shooter.
But yeah, I mean, you 7'3", 7'4", you altering, blocking shot. Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
You better be.
Exactly.
If you're close to somebody, you better be a good. You better be altering and changing shots, so you get your butt out of there. Almost,
right.
Start cussing on this stuff. Maybe we should, but no, I get it, man.
One of the things advanced analytics kind of, even with Joker winning MVP awards, the same thing. Like we see guys that have just as big, if not more, or even more important to their team as the Joker is, but because he feels that, like when you look at his PER per game, it's going to be super high once again because he's going to have 27, 30 points. He's going to have 12 to 13, 15 rebounds. He's going to have 8 to 10 assists. So when advanced analytics takes all of that in totality, his PER number is going to be like 50, 60 compared to, say, like Shea, like I said earlier, who's not going to fill the stats as much, but we know he has just as much, if not more, impact on the game because that team probably wouldn't be where it was even closer without him.
Yeah, because and it's tough. Jokic is unique because when you think about wing players and guard players, they're usually the engine of the offense, right? They create a lot of things for everybody else. They create the tempo, the tone, and that's the unique thing about Jokic is that he is the engine too. Like he's initiating offense. He's the offense and the ball is kind of playing through him in a lot of scenarios. So I think that's why he does get that benefit of the doubt with a lot. I mean, he's putting up numbers and he affects the game just like a dominant guard or wing player would because the ball is in his hands and he's making so many plays and he's the engine of it. But no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy thing. I love it. I love it.
Makes it interesting, right? The different styles, the contrasting styles. It's like, hey, who's going to impose their will? Like in that series last year, Jokic averaged, put up great numbers, but the Timberwolves were able to impose their will physically and defensively in that series, and kind of nullified, Jokic's ability to dominate the game, like you said, from an initiation standpoint, from controlling the pace of the game standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like they like to do when they get it going, when he's the guy at the top of the key, finding guys, initiating guys. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's get into our last little topic, man. Let's get into some NFL football, man. All right, man. My team is the Bears. Your team are the Saints. We got another sloppy performance from Caleb Williams and the Bears, man. Like, what do you see as the issue with it? Did you see the game at all? Did you watch any of the highlights, any of that stuff? What is the issue? To me, it's been the same kind of story going back 20 years, man. It's just it's offensive line play. It's play call and play selection, in my opinion, and what you emphasize. So we got all these weapons on the outside, but he's in there running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Now, obviously, he does get out of the pocket too soon. I think he holds on to the ball a little too quick too. Yeah. But we can't run the ball, and we can't protect the quarterback. So I think that's a recipe for disaster when it talks about another sloppy performance from my Bears, man. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree 100%. I think for me, with the Bears, with having a rookie quarterback, you want to establish the run, get the run game established, right? You want your offensive line to play well and run in the run game and the pass game. But if you're able to establish the run, you can do that. And they have good running backs. They have Herbert. They have Rashawn Johnson. They have DeAndre Swift. They have running backs who do different things. So, but it seems like they're really focused on getting all of those outside guys involved. You got Moore, you got Allen, you got Odunze, and then you have a quarterback. So I think their natural instinct is to want to, drop back and do all this, and throw the ball. But I'm like, man, I think and it makes your offensive line play better. Like you see with Michigan, the offensive line plays better when they're firing off the ball, run blocking.
Yeah,
than they do dropping back.
It's more of an aggressive pot. I can impose my will instead of trying to keep you from coming at my quarter. Like it gives you energy when I can go in and go hit them up.
Yes,
and I know I can do that. Then that's like so. Man, I
think the best offenses in the league, it starts with the run game, and it may be their quarterback may be dynamic. Even with the Chiefs, they have the most dynamic quarterback in the league. But when it comes time to win, Pacheco is getting the ball. Matter of fact, they had some big Mike Allstott looking guy back there getting the ball this past week. They was back there handing the ball to him. So
you gotta have that.
You gotta be able to run the football, man. If you can't run the football, and then with Caleb Williams being a young guy, and we saw how he played at USC, he's gonna take off. He's still young.
He be scrambling, man. He see ghosts a little bit sometimes. Although it does, guys be quick to get in the backfield, but sometimes he see ghosts and he get to scrambling, running and flipping and spinning.
Playing backyard football.
Yeah, you can't do that consistently. Like you got to play on schedule. You got to play more on schedule, and the coaching staff has to rein him in a little bit more. But it's also one of the side effects of dudes not playing preseason, not getting snaps then. So now it's like these first 2-3 weeks are dang near like, exhibition because dudes don't have a rhythm. And you ain't getting the real bullets in practice that you get in a real NFL game. So, hopefully that is the case. And hopefully he starts to settle down a little bit in week 4, week 5, week 6. And because the talent is there, the arm strength is there. The accuracy is there, but he just needs to settle down, play more on schedule, and we can see what we do. But
Eberflus, a couple more weeks of this, man. We're gonna start to say maybe it wasn't Justin Fields, maybe it was you, maybe it was you, brother.
Maybe it was you. We will see.
And he's an offensive guy too. He's supposed to be an offensive guy, quarterback guy. Like this will be 2 big time talented quarterbacks that you haven't been able to get anything out of if you keep going at this rate. So hopefully they're able to pick it up because I think the Bears are one of the few teams. I don't really like the other teams in the NFC. In the NFC It's hard for me to root for the Vikings after the debacles we've had against them over the last 5 to 7 years in the playoffs as a Saints fan. So nah, if I had to root for anybody in that division, it'd be the Bears.
You got to come with it, man. It's been a long time. You got to come with it. Need some old linemen, man. Let's get it going.
This was black and blue division. Y'all supposed to bring the black. What's up?
we got blue. We got no black.
Y'all supposed to be doing the bruising.
Shoot, we out there. We getting all these skill positions like we playing the dome or something. I could see if we was, like back in the day, St. Louis, best show on turf. We got all these weapons on the outside. Shit, we playing the cold, man. You got to.
How much is it gonna be to throw the ball in that Chicago Hawk in another month or so?
Man, you better be pounding it, Pound Town. Hey yo, that's right.
Yeah, man. But my Saints, we had a tough loss as well, man. We've talked about it. I've talked about since about Drew Brees' second to last year, the offense has been the Saints' biggest issue, whether it's Drew Brees and his noodle arm his last 2 years or the offensive line like it's been the last couple of years. And the first 2 games of this year, we got excited as Saints fan because the offensive line finally looked like it was supposed to look with 3 first round picks. The Cesar Ruiz first round pick, Trevor Penning first round pick, the left tackle we drafted from Oregon State in the first round this year, and Eric McCoy was a second round pick. So the first 2 games of the year, our offensive line looked like it should look with a team with that much capital spent on the offensive line. Eric McCoy goes down the first series against the Eagles, and we bring an undrafted guy in. We move the undrafted guy. We're playing the left guard to center, and we bring another undrafted guy in to play left guard. And now Jalen Carter and Big Jordan Davis probably have their best games as pros. And just watching football, anytime you get penetration and up the middle and you're being dominated from guard to guard, you're not going to be able to do pretty much anything. So those guys,
nothing. You gotta win them trenches battles, and that's the key. Like football, it's trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Like sexy stuff is the skill positions outside, but you gotta have some continuity. You gotta have some experience in them trenches for you to be able to get anything done.
Yeah,
and I think that's what you see. Like you see with the Saints, they got doing some shuffling, and definitely you see that with the Bears with some inexperience and some other things going on, and they just need to step up their play in those areas to be successful.
But I'm excited. Guys running to each other, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was 2 guards, so it was a sign of first of all, he was already physically outmatched against Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. Second of all, you could tell that he hadn't been prepared to play as much as they thought he was going to play because you could tell he didn't get starters reps because he's not the starter. He didn't get as many reps. So they called one play, and him and Cesar Ruiz, Michigan guy, they are both pulling, and they run into each other in the backfield behind the center. So obviously both of y'all ain't supposed to be pulling. That ain't the play. Somebody went that's the type of stuff we dealt with after McCoy went out. So everybody wants to say, Derek Carr turned back into Derek Carr. He turned back into a pumpkin. No, Derek Carr was running for his life pretty much the whole game because of the poor offensive line play. So
no, that's it. You gotta have that going, man. You gotta have that going. All right, man. Our last topic of the day, man. A youth basketball question of the day. When you are getting prepared, right, for when you're thinking about like your exposure for a child, man, what type of things that should parents think about when they're putting their kids in camps or exposure camps or going to these different events that people have, man? What is your philosophy on parents spending all this money going to these exposure camps and things like that?
First of all, I think you should know if your kid is a competitor or not. Like if you're gonna spend money and your kids will go up there and hang out for the week and just make friends and not go out there with the intentions of I'm gonna dominate. It's exposure camp. I'm gonna make a name for myself. Your kid is not going there with those intentions. Don't spend the money. Like it's one of those things. Like unless you groom your kid to be a certain way, and you know that, then you can put them in those high pressure exposure situations where everybody's in there for a reason. But if you have one of those kids that my son's will go up here and just be cool with everybody, then keep your money and work spend it somewhere else and continue the development process, right?
Yeah.
But if you got a kid at a young age, he got, like you say, he has that dog in him, and he's gonna go and he's gonna show up and he's gonna compete and he's gonna put his. Now he doesn't necessarily have to play well, but if he's just gonna go there with the intentions of playing well, I'm gonna play as hard as I possibly can. I'm gonna do everything I can to leave here with some respect. Then those are kids that you kind of you don't mind putting in those situations. But if you know your kid, your kid is not built like that, you send them to the wrong exposure event, it can set them back.
No, for sure. And I think it's a difference. When you look at it, it's a difference between like some of these elite camps and some of these like exposure camps where they got just social media campaigns and you see all the highlights. They just hoop and ain't nobody really playing no D. They just trying to make highlights. I think it's the difference between that, with people trying to make a name for themselves instead of like, I'm really going here to play against some good competition. And the coaching is there, the accountability is there. So like, I'm looking at these highlight dudes. It's nice. They doing all these dribble moves, combos, step back, but the defense suck. Or transition defense suck. Or it's like, so it looks good for a highlight, but is this the type of play that's going to help you project forward as a really valuable basketball player on both ends on the court? So that's the stuff that I'm leery of. These kind of like TV exposure, social media. We gonna hype it up. We got the colorful jerseys. We got all this stuff, and we're gonna be doing all this stuff to get viral moments instead of really teaching these kids how to compete at a high level against high level competition.
Yeah. No, I worked at camp. I worked at top. Yeah, I worked at Elite 60 basketball camp down here in Georgia a couple of summers ago, and it was one of those situations where the kids just show up and they just give them jerseys and put them on teams. So like you have to be a certain kind of kid to show up in those situations and perform well and do well, as opposed to, okay, this is elite camp. We're going to show up. The kids are going to do drills. We're going to maybe do some teaching in the classrooms and have film sessions. We might do whatever. And then we'll go play basketball. Those are the type of camps that I would be looking for, where it's a little more teaching going on, a little bit more. It's that stuff like that. So, okay, we're just going to show up, and now the kids, we're going to put them 8 to 10 kids on the team, and our kids who've never seen each other, never met each other before, got to figure out how to have some sort of chemistry and synergy and unselfishness to where they all can put their best foot forward. And you've been in them situations, I've been in them situations. It normally don't work like that. So
it don't work like that. You get a couple kids that you dribble the air out the ball, especially as a big guy, something like that. It's like, man, you might as well just stay at home. Yeah, because you ain't gonna get it, because this dude is dribbling. He's been working on his bag all summer, and I'm gonna dribble the air out this time. So that would be my advice for parents.
Everybody's not an elite camp or exposure camp guy. You know what I mean? Some guys are better when they're with their high schools or with their AAU teams, where they have some familiarity and have structure.
Yeah, more structure, more system. Yeah. You got to be able to get out of that structure and system and play with anybody, for sure. I think that's a skill that kids need to have. But at the same time, some of this stuff is out of hand. What I say, I'd be like, man, nah, I'm good on that camp.
Money grab, Chris. That's the money grab.
That's the money grab, man. That's the money grab. But look, man, I think we had a great show today, man. We over an hour right now, so we're gonna shut this thing down, man, so you can go to cooking. What you cooking tonight, man? Is tonight your night to cook or what?
What's today? Friday.
Friday. What you got? A little gumbo?
You know what I'm doing? I'm frying that yard bird.
Frying that bird. So I gotta give me another deep fry. A little hibachi.
Yeah, so like some down here in Atlanta they have the hood spots so you can get hibachi rice with shrimp and all that type of stuff. You can get chicken wings with it too. So
you get the hibachi rice with the wings.
Yeah, I think
that sounds good.
So I might go with the what they call it, the 280. You get fruit punch, lemonade, and Kool-Aid mixed together or something. So yeah, I think I might go hit a little hood spot in Atlanta and get some hibachi and wings.
I ain't mad at that. I love that. All right,
What
before
y'all
we get
doing
out of
over
here,
there,
man. Man, we might eat out. I gotta about to get ready to take my youngest over here to this little 3-on-3 little thing that we doing over here at school. So we about to do that. Then my daughter's out at gymnastics, and so we gonna be getting back late. So we probably order out. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I need a spot like that, man. Before we get out of here, prediction: Minnesota, Michigan. What's your score prediction right now?
I got Michigan 24-10.
24-10.
I was looking at the line. The line is like 10.5, and I was like, 10.5 is a lot for a team that hasn't shown they can throw the ball downfield. But I think.
But Minnesota gave up almost 300 yards rushing last game.
Yeah, I was about to say they gave up a lot of yards rushing. I think we can field position and running the football. We can get to 24 and hold it and keep them to
24.
Keep them. So I think 24-10, 27-10, somewhere in there. I think we'll cover the spread and win.
30-13, Michigan is me.
Okay.
I think we score another defensive touchdown. I don't
know
if
or somebody else.
A pick six by Johnson. I think it's, here it is. It's a fumble recovery by Zeke Berry that he takes back to the house.
Okay. I like that prediction.
30-13.
Zeke been that close to making plays the last couple of weeks too. He's been close.
And this week is his week.
Yeah.
He's taking it back to the house. All
yes,
right,
sir.
man. Until next time, baby. This is the Rabbit Hole Podcast with Chris Hunter and Daniel Horton, my man.
Sir.
Till next time, man.
Till next time. Yes, sir.